Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Retro Bar. I'm Jeremy and this is my Retro Bar. And this week we're going to be talking about, not my hair, we are going to be talking about this thing. This is the IDE Simulator from a company called Tattiebogle? Tattiebogle? Not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but anyway, we're going to be taking a look at this IDE Simulator. But of course, first, we're going to need to make ourselves a drink. All right, for this week's drink, we're going to be making a Tom Collins. We're going to start off with 2 ounces of gin, and then we're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and then we're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and we're going to add ice. We'll go ahead and shake that up, and we're going to take a Collins glass here, and we're actually going to fill it with ice. And we're gonna strain our drink into that. I might have put a little bit too much ice in there, but then we're gonna top it with club soda. There you have a Tom Collins. Cheers. Refreshing. All right, let's get to it. The IDE Simulator from Tattiebogle promises to be an ATAPI CD-ROM/DVD-ROM simulator. The idea behind the IDE Simulator is that it can effectively replace CD and DVD-ROM drives in legacy computer hardware, such as PCs and arcade PCBs. So the IDE CD-ROM Simulator features a 32-bit Cortex M3 CPU. It has multiple storage formats, including USB and SD. It supports ISO and BenQ formats, and it has a dedicated audio DAC for audio playback, supporting full 16-bit 44 kilohertz stereo output. And it has an LCD control interface, allowing you to see which ISO you are currently using, also allowing you to select different images without having to switch out storage devices. And it says it's supported on FreeDOS or MS-DOS 6.22 on 486s and above. So I've gone ahead and plugged it in here to my 486 because this is one of the devices that I really want it to work with, because this device can't run daemon tools within Windows because I'm not running Windows, I'm just running DOS. And so in order to emulate CD-ROMs, I'm gonna need a hardware device to do it, or I'm gonna have to use an actual CD-ROM drive. And so I'm hoping that this will fit all my needs. And so I've gone ahead and plugged in my audio output and my Molex and my IDE cable, and then my USB, which is gonna go to my screen here. And then I've got a USB storage device here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in to the faster storage that it has. And for comparison, I'm gonna actually go ahead and use an SD card as well. So you can either use USB or SD storage, and I'm gonna kind of see which one performs better there. So there we've got IDE, audio output, Molex, storage USB, USB screen, and storage SD. So let's go ahead and test this out. All right, so we've gone ahead and booted up the computer, and we can see that the computer recognizes the virtual CD-ROM drive here. And but the first glitch that I've already run into, and I've played with this a little bit to figure out, is the screen here stays on this Crystal Fonts startup screen and doesn't detect that it's plugged into the IDE Simulator. And what I've noticed that you have to do is just unplug it and plug it back in to the IDE Simulator, and then it gives us the little boot up screen telling us that it's the IDE Simulator version 0.229, and then it goes ahead and shows us what it has set up here. And I've got in USB 0, I have Sam and Max set up as a BenQ file, and so let's go ahead and just see what we can get off of this Sam and Max on the USB drive. So we're gonna go ahead and go D, and it sees that. And if I do a DIR, and we can see that It's got Sam and Max, it's got setup, so let's run setup, because I don't have Sam and Max installed on here yet. And we get a not reading drive D, abort, retry, or fail. Let's try a retry. All right, and let's try a retry again. All right, I guess we'll just fail or abort. Yeah, okay. So that doesn't seem super successful. We can get a directory reading. It looks like we can switch to another directory. It looks like it's got Rebel Assault, probably a demo of it on here. So I can go into the Rebel Assault directory. I can dir on that. And it takes a minute. Okay, let's just do a retry. So if we do a retry, then it does read it. But if we try to run that setup, it doesn't like that. So let's go back. Oh, did it not even change the directory? Oh, interesting. So Sam and Max. So it shows the directory, but if I do a directory on that directory, okay, then it shows that. Again, we're back at the root. It's not showing me any files within that folder that I navigated to. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's see. So this is off the USB drive. Let's see if we can get this to read off of the SD card. All right, so let's switch over to the SD card. So we've got the same Sam and Max bin Q file. So let's try that from the SD. So dir. Ooh, that's working a lot better. Okay, setup. All right, same issue, not reading drive. So retry, 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 abort. Okay, so we've got the same issue with the same disk image on both the USB and the SD. So let's try a different one. So let's go here and select image and SD, and I'm gonna pick this one. This is a, yeah, let's, so this is Rebel Assault on the SD card. And nothing. Okay, let's abort. Okay. All right, let's try a different image. Oh, now it... Now this isn't letting me choose it. Let's see if it's just an interface issue, if I can just unplug and plug back in. No. Oh, all right. Well, let's reboot. Okay, so let's switch this. I'm gonna keep on the US or the SD, but I'm gonna pick this one, which is a music CD. So it's called Epidemic Sound. It's actually just a CD that I made of the music that I'm allowed to play on my YouTube channel, and so that I know I can listen to it. Oh, that's what I did. So mpx play d:" star.cdw. All right, so let's try that from the USB. Okay. So mpx play d:/star.cdw. Nothing, huh? Oh, there it is. So it's reading it just very, very sluggishly. And it looks like the mouse support has stopped, and it also, the scroll on the screen has stopped. Okay, I've got the mouse cursor back. As you can see, this little dot keeps moving. So whatever this is doing is taking all of the power of this computer. So let's just escape out of that. I'm gonna reboot again. Give it a chance to think about this, and we're gonna try this in Windows. And again, on the reboot, the screen doesn't refresh, so it has to be unplugged and plugged back in again so that it can read the IDE Simulator. I did update the firmware as soon as I got this so that it could use the screen, because before that it couldn't even use the screen. It would just read one image file off of a SD card or USB at a time. And that could be changed if you plug in to the other USB port. You could plug another computer in using a console and change it, but that seems very inconvenient to me to have another computer plugged into a computer in order to change the virtual CD-ROMs. So that's why I got the Crystal Font screen, so that I could change that. All right, so let's go back to our, I'm gonna do the USB. I'm gonna select our sound file. I can see it's scrolling there, which is what I want it to be doing. And I'm just gonna go into Windows, and we're gonna see if Windows can see it using the CD player that I have in here. And I've just got this Creative CD1. And it says CD not inserted into drive or CD audio MCI driver not installed. Well, I know that it is. So whatever it is about this CD, it is not detecting it as a CD. Even though when I tried this earlier and plugged the CD into the drive, it did detect it. So, okay, so we're not getting a CD player here. Okay, and if I try it as a data disk just inside Windows, and I'll do the USB, and I'll do Inca 2 here. And let's go main, file manager. And, oh, come on. It won't even, okay. CD-ROM, select drive. So Windows will not even load it. And again, the scrolling screen froze again. So I just don't think this thing works. I really, really wanted it to work. There's no disk and drive D.
Okay, so cancel. And the screen froze again. So I really, really wanted this to work, and it just doesn't look like it does. It doesn't work at all. Well, that's about all I can do with this guy today. I hate to say it, but this is the worst piece of retro hardware I've ever used. I don't know if I just have a defective one or if it's just needs a firmware update and it's just not there yet, but everything I've tried to do with this thing doesn't work. I've tried different SD cards, I've tried different USB cards, and it just doesn't do what I need it to do. A SCSI to SD has the ability to emulate a CD-ROM drive, which is great if that's all I wanted, but I was really hoping to get this analog audio output for those couple of games that don't work over the digital connection, right? And that's why this thing was so promising. And now the bad thing about it is, this is $200. So to buy this is $200 and it doesn't even work. And not even just that, but to get the screen that goes with it, the only ones that I was able to find that were USB were available only from the official manufacturer. And so the official manufacturer of those screens, I believe it's like $70, and then there's some cables that need to go with it, and then there's shipping, so it ended up being $120. So $320 to try to replace a CD-ROM drive in a vintage computer, it's just not worth it. It's way too expensive. It is clearly doesn't function. It doesn't do anything that it's supposed to. I think it might be trying to, because I am able to get directory listings on some data disks. But yeah, this is $200 and it doesn't do anything that it says. And my hope is, because it is a hobbyist community, this person's really genuinely trying to make this thing work, and my hope is that enough effort goes behind it, that a firmware update comes out and that will make this thing functional. And of course my fear is that this person is like, the retro community will just buy whatever we put out, and this person just threw together a bunch of parts on a printed circuit board and hope that an idiot like me would pay $200 for it. I don't know where it falls. I'm not super involved in community forums and threads. My brain just doesn't work well in that way of processing information. So it's hard for me to like go through a bunch of like threads and communities and things like that to like figure out the train of thought or where everything is. And so, yeah, so I tend to be a person who finds a thing that looks like it's gonna do what I want it to do, and I buy that thing, and then I test it out and see if it works. And honestly, until this one, every one of them has worked. And so I hope that something happens. I hope there's a firmware update, but if not, do not buy this thing. This thing is terrible. It doesn't do what it's supposed to be doing, and it costs too much. $320 all told to not work as good as a one-speed CD-ROM drive. So anyway, I'm clearly very frustrated about this because this was going to be the answer to kind of the final thing that I needed for these retro computers that I have here. The final piece that would remove all moving parts from it and make these things more sustainable, and it looks like we're just not there yet. So hopefully someone else picks up the mantle, I don't know if that's the right phrase. Hopefully someone else picks up this idea who can make it happen, who can actually implement the idea and get us an affordable CD-ROM emulator with a screen that will allow us to change the disk images that functions. But until then, don't buy this, and thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry for being so negative. I don't like to be that way. And anyway, I'll see you next time.